131. The WEI-CH'I Devil. A certain general, who had resigned his command and had retired to his own home, was very fond of roaming about and amusing himself with wine and WEI-CH'I. One day, it was the 9th of the 9th moon, when everybody goes up high. As he was playing with some friends, a stranger walked up and watched the game intently for some time without going away. He was a miserable-looking creature with a very ragged coat, but nevertheless possessed of a refined and courteous air. The general begged him to be seated, an offer which he accepted, being all the time extremely deferential in his manner. "I suppose you are pretty good at this," said the general, pointing to the board. "Try a bout with one of my friends here." The stranger made a great many apologies in reply, but finally accepted and played a game in which, apparently to his great disappointment, he was beaten. He played another with the same result. And now, refusing all offers of wine, he seemed to think of nothing but how to get someone to play with him. Thus he went on until the afternoon was well advanced, when suddenly, just as he was in the middle of a most exciting game, which depended on a single place, he rushed forward, and throwing himself at the feet of the general, loudly implored his protection. The general did not know what to make of this. However, he raised him up and said, "It's only a game. Why get so excited?" To this the stranger replied by begging the general not to let his gardener seize him. And when the general asked what gardener he meant, he said the man's name was Ma Sheng. Now this Ma Sheng was often employed as a lictor by the ruler of purgatory, and would sometimes remain away as much as 10 days, serving the warrants of death. Accordingly, the general sent off to inquire about him and found that he had been in a trance for 2 days. His master cried out that he had better not behave rudely to his guest, but at that very moment the stranger sunk down to the ground and was gone. The general was lost in astonishment. However, he now knew that the man was a disembodied spirit, and on the next day, when Ma Sheng came round, he asked him for full particulars. "The gentleman was a native of Huxiang," replied the gardener, "who was passionately addicted to WEI-CH'I and had lost a great deal of money by it. His father, being much grieved at his behavior, confined him to the house. But he was always getting out and indulging the fetal passion, and at last his father died of a broken heart. In consequence of this, the ruler of purgatory curtailed his term of life and condemned him to become a hungry devil, in which state he has already passed 7 years. And now that the Phoenix Tower is completed, an order has been issued for the literati to present themselves and compose an inscription to be cut on stone as a memorial thereof, by which means they would secure their own salvation as a reward. Many of the shades failing to arrive at the appointed time, God was very angry with the ruler of purgatory, and the latter sent off me, and others who are employed in the same way, to hunt up the defaulters. But as you, sir, bade me treat the gentleman with respect, I did not venture to bind him." The general inquired what had become of the stranger, to which the gardener replied, "He is now a mere menial in purgatory and can never be born again." "Alas," cried his master, "thus it is that men are ruined by any inordinate passion."
Thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more excellent content.